Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Week 4 Premiership game. This is ETF2L Season 30, sponsored by SVIFT Trading and Scrap.tf, I believe. And we have the big one, the one you've all been waiting for. Se7en and SVIFT are two big boy teams here. So, we're seeing some pretty interesting stuff. We are joined, obviously, me, eepily. We're joined by Eemes as well. And our
Hello.
resident production guru, Gemm, is in the background. Eemes, how you doing?
I'm pretty good, eepily. How are you?
I am pretty okay. I was saying about I've been really sweating, getting proper prepared for this cast. I didn't realize how much my keyboard's been picking up when I've talked, so I've just plugged in a completely different keyboard with quieter switches. This is
Nice.
the production value you can expect from these Wednesday casts, you know?
We try hard over here in TFTV.
Trying incredibly hard. So yeah, like I said, it is SVIFT, it is Se7en. It's the two kind of teams which going into this season, people were expecting to see right at the top, as everyone would probably have predicted. Se7en's been absolutely dominating so far. Not sure quite how up to date people are in terms of the whole Se7en situation. They are, as of right now, not playing with Tiger still because he's banned. So right now they are playing with Credo instead of Tiger, and everyone else is all the same. So we're pretty good there. And SVIFT, the SVIFT lineup. So the SVIFT lineup, that's some of your boys. You've played in teams with a few of these boys before. Run us down who exactly they are and who the big boys are.
So the SVIFT lineup at the moment is Crafty Dave on Scout, along with Samsey, Pappy, Pocket, Chris Roma, Smire Demo, and Condog, formerly of Nanya, who I played with on Medic. I think they will be getting funds later in the season, but funds hasn't finished his exams, so they currently have Crafty.
It's good stuff. Just in case anyone does get confused, Se7en is Pappy. Brand new name, same fragger. So you can see the same kind of Pappy pocketing we've seen in previous seasons. Walk at things and just absolutely poop all over them.
Yep.
Then I think it's be interesting to see how they kind of fare up against Se7en. I believe so far we've not seen them. Like, obviously, these are the top two teams everyone has been thinking about. I don't think SVIFT has really gone against anyone to really contest them. Definitely doesn't look like that in terms of the rankings. Like, they're sitting on a clean sheet of 18 points alongside Se7en. So they've been against, the Bin, Ascent, and Velocity. Actually, kind of quite interesting. Velocity and Ascent, actually, say the Bin as well. Like, they're all three, like, pretty good teams. They're quite kind of, like, distinctive. They're, I said, they're obviously pretty good because they're in Prem, but getting pretty clean 6-0s against all three. I think it's going to be interesting to see how they fare up with Se7en, who historically have just been like that one kind of just step up above a lot of the teams in Prem.
Definitely. It should be a good game.
Yeah, I think we've got some wonderful little comparison stats Gem's going to be going through with us so we can see exactly what's going on. So we're currently looking at the SVIFT team sheet. So I said big boys of Smizzy, veteran of the game, played scouts for, I believe, donkey's years, about a million of them. Smir as well, played more seasons than I think anyone would care to count, along with some of the relatively Nanya boys. Oh, see, here's the comparison everyone wants to see. Who's been decimating? So, that big impact player, Smir, hitting that 322 average damage per minute. Like, dude definitely could lay down damage.
That is true. Although, I feel like Cadus, in the more important, obviously he's, as we all know, he's had a wrist injury for a very long time. And, a lot of the time his team is rolling and he doesn't really feel like he's got to properly turn it on, like turn the crazy aim on, turn the crazy plays. So it can kind of make sense that even in those games where he rolls, Cadus probably won't get a lot of DPM. So maybe that's an explanation for that. I expect him to do well in this match.
Yeah, definitely, especially on obviously right now we're looking at Cardinal just as players get into the server, but we will be going to Viaduct. This is the first, I don't know if there was a cast earlier on the week. This might be the first showing of Premierships playing Viaduct of the season, which I think is, I think it's always really interesting to see because obviously a lot of people kind of see Viaduct as kind of very DMy. A lot of it can come down to, kind of quite scrappy fights, but you also have really distinctive ways of playing Viaduct. Like, You can have teams which just play like ultra aggressive, like, you know, chase loads of frags and just straight like win through domination. And then you have teams which, you know, they'll really just focus the cap time. You know, they'll play like the point game because, you know, objective based gaming, it's all part of it.
And as we saw last season, there's not only is there a difference in styles that you can have, there's a difference in class compositions, probably more so than any other map. Like we saw, I think it was 05 running a lot of pyro, this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you know, obviously Credy is an absolute monster sniper for Se7en, so I expect we'll be seeing a lot of that. And potentially Swift will be doing that too with Chris on sniper, I think. Though I mean, Chris is solid at a sniper, but definitely not on Credy's level. So I would expect him to lose out on that duel. But yeah, there's a lot of different ways you can play it. So it's always fun to see how the meta changes and you know, people decide what is the best lineup.
Yeah, I said, especially from the point of view of Se7en. I mean, having a quick chat with them earlier and kind of seeing their recent scrim results, it does look like they're more or less playing with Credu perma sniping and Eemes playing a lot of scout. When you have someone like Eemes who is incredibly capable on soldier and then incredibly capable on scout, it kind of, you know, it does offer them a lot of freedom. And like you just said, Credu's legacy on sniper is somewhat biblical, really. He's making his way up there with some of the greats like Zebo and Flippy.
Yeah, he doesn't really tend to miss at all, so
no,
that can help.
These Finnish sniper mains, they seem to have something special going on. I said we're just looking at some more little comparison statistics while we're waiting for the very last Se7en gamer to join. I said we kind of talked a bit already about Cadis and Smear kind of, you know, having a bigger impact in general, but said he's required to have a larger impact. That, you know, as long as Cadis' team is winning, he feels absolutely no need to go forward and make plays because he just doesn't need to. Mm-hmm. You know, in a team which may have, you know, a bit more difficulty and more or less, like, more importantly, play a little bit faster, a little bit more aggressive. You can see why he's able to really output things. I don't know if we've already looked at comparison between Pappy and Eemes. Would be quite interesting to see. I think it's they're not completely kind of like worlds apart in terms of like playstyle, but I feel like there's some pretty fundamental differences. Like I said, like Pappy's a real big fan of from what I've seen, really taking control of the game and taking control of his team. I know in previous teams been a very, very strong main caller. And obviously with Se7en, they play more hills close to Cadis, being their main caller. So Eemes is kind of a bit freer, taking kind of slightly less hills, being more kind of a...
Although you do say that, but actually Eemes actually does have more hills per minute than Pappy, which is something I wasn't really expecting, because I know that it's pretty much Cadis gets the last word, he makes all the calls, and as a result of that, he, as you saw, got slightly more hills than Smear. On Swift, the dynamic, at least to some extent, is Pappy wants the Uber, but Smear also wants the Uber. I think Smear does have the last word in calls, but like, you know, it's a bit more to like extent. Sometimes Pappy wants to do stuff, so it's interesting to see that he actually still has lower heals. So I guess he's still relegated more to the make space kind of role.
Yeah. Definitely not what I was expecting at all based on previous things, but I suppose, you know, when you're in a situation where you have someone like Smear, like that real veteran of the game, trusting him to make some of these kind of, you know, team controlling decisions does just seem quite logical, I will be honest. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we're more or less just getting 6-6 now, so we should be getting started any second. Just, I think we've got a couple minutes just to run through. Said you've literally just finished your own scrims. What's your opinion on Cardinal in terms of this kind of, you know, top level gameplay? Do you think teams have really worked it out?
Definitely more so in the second week. I know the first week was just kind of, you know, really weird stuff, but people just not really knowing, you know, where the best rollout is and this kind of thing. But yeah, I think it's a pretty good map, honestly. I know that a lot of people don't like it because there's some weird spots and like unfinished things, which obviously that's true. But as a basic, like the basic layout of the map is pretty solid, to be honest. It takes a bit of getting used to, obviously, but I find the mid pretty enjoyable. Like there's soldiers can't really sit back at all, so essentially what it comes down to is the soldiers would just go very, very aggressive. Well, that's what we tend to do anyway, which is makes for a pretty fun mid.
It definitely seems like the kind of mid where there's so much real low ground, and because the point is kind of that bit raised a bit higher, so you've got low ground towards choke and towards a little bit where what at least I would refer to as like the cafe type area. yeah, it does seem like you can't really play super slow and really get away with it. You've either got to be kind of all
Yeah.
the way in or all the way out. But we did see some really weird stuff from Ascent last week. Ombrak did say it was more or less as a result of some minor tilt where Ascent more or less played super far back and basically cleaned up the early bombers and then just walked across point after they got a couple frags. But I can't imagine many teams are going to trust that reliably because it just seems like it would be so far away to actually engage in a fight. It may have been more velocity handing that to them.
An interesting thing that you may be seeing on this mid is I know that particularly Cadus likes to do this. So most of the teams will be rolling out through choke, and you get there quite slow, and you walk through this whole really long, like grass walkway that's pretty small. Sometimes you can go like to the right through house or fence, as we've been calling it. But if Cadus gets there really early and gets the pre-fire sticks in the right way, he can literally lock a whole team out. And the only like counter play that Swift would have is to bomb him really early and get onto him. But if they do it right and they go really aggressive, then Cadus can literally just win 7 and mid like that. But then that said, if he does it wrong, then he'll be overextending and feeding. So it's kind of potentially, if the game's 1-1 and then really need to start making a play out of his strat.
Yeah, that's it. It's definitely it's an option. Or said we may end up even seeing it kind of first mid because Se7en is a team which they're big fans of getting an early round and then just relaxing from there on out, just
That's
like
true, yeah.
Playing controlling. So maybe we see that come out first round, absolutely decimating first round, a minute and a half, and then we see 28.5 minutes of standing around on last.
Yeah, particularly this last line, as I've found, is really not a great one for breaking stalemates as the attacking team. Like, short of having the enemy demo, as happened in my official, stand still twice and die to a sniper as I was scratching my nose. Like, it's really not very easy to get in, like, to the window room. Like, you can see people coming in from there far left, but there's not really that many angles you can play it properly. So yeah, and also another thing that's kind of weird about the whole lobby area is left side, the shutter, but that's very like cut off from the whole rest of the map. So if you want to have your combo around there, like sometimes you'll see situations where the combos just rotate all the way around each other because they don't know where the other combo is. So yeah, people haven't quite worked out how, like, where the best places to stand are yet. So you can see some very strange stuff happening.
Yeah, we were talking last week as well. It seems to be in terms of trying to push out of last, there seems to be some really generous spawn times for the team kind of attacking towards last, so they can more or less send 2 or 3 guys in on a sack, and by the time the which is defending from last is actually able to push out, there's been spawners more or less able to contest point instantly. Whereas maybe if they lost a guy on last, there's still like a good 4 or 5 seconds up on that. It seems to be like we didn't see a huge amount last week on Wednesday when Velocity and Ascent played, but I feel like it kind of played a little bit into it. But I said it was much earlier on in terms of teams actually working out the map, and I think both teams more or less acknowledged they hadn't quite worked out what was going on. So
Yep.
Yeah, I'm really hoping, honestly, myself to see some big strats on how to win this, because I've got no idea. I'm hoping they can teach me before tomorrow.
Yeah, it's always, I mean, people debate, like, should we put a somewhat unfinished map in the map pool, and a lot of people just hate it point blank because it's new and it's different. And obviously there's also controversy over which map was removed, but like after all of that, you debate, you like think about whether or not we should have it in. Actually playing a new map is actually really fun. Like, you have to, as you said, like, think up what the new strats are. Like, do I go here, do I go there? Like, theory crafting, like, oh, is this the best push, or is this, and like, where should I stand? It's like, for most of TF2 you play the same games, same maps for like millions and millions of games, but finally actually having a breath of fresh air is a lot of fun, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, you can get that sense of kind of discovering, that sense of there's, frankly, so once you play X amount of seasons at the highest level, you can more or less expect everything that's going to happen. You'll still make mistakes, but you can expect a lot of things.
Yeah.
But when there's a brand new map, there can be new stuff which you've just never thought of at all. And it really encourages new teams to spend that extra bit of time because they might just come up with something absolutely nuts, like, you know, like a new rollout to mid. I remember, like, you know, years ago when logjam was a thing, people just, like, you know, trying out the different rollouts to mid, and, you know, what you can do from here and there, and, you know, different soldier rollouts where you can end up like basically in that choke by the time they walk in. That kind of stuff is you know, it's a nice little experience you don't get all the time.
And speaking of rollouts on this map, I mean, there's really so many different things you can do on demo. So I know that the thing I mentioned before with Cadis going aggressive into the choke, what I like to do is take the pack in house and go left normally. I've seen Elikor likes to jump on top of the little hut and like you can see the whole mid, which is pretty cool. And you know, pretty much every demo I've played against on this map does something completely different, and it's like it's great to see all these, like, no one really knows what the best way is, but they're all just doing whatever the sort of occurs to them.
Yeah, plus, like, because each of the doorways are pretty well spread apart, like, choke is decently far from the kind of cafe bit, which is decently far from, like, the left. It just seems to be that your choice of rollout can also have a huge impact on how the entire mid's going to go, like, how your team's going to be made to play it. Instead of, you know, you're playing on the height, you know, your demo's going to be weak, you have to play differently to if your demo's playing slower towards, like, the low ground and maybe trying to move across point. It's really interesting to see how they're kind of almost tailoring some of their mids around exactly what's happening with their demo really early on.
Yeah,
which
it's really crucial. The early demo fight. Well, if you can get really good spam early on this middle, particularly like sort of like Granary and some other mids, it's very, very key. Like the early stickies into choke will just put that team, because obviously, as I mentioned before, if you're stuck in choke, it's awful. So if you can delay them a bit or like get the early damage and they're just a bit fearing around a choke, that can essentially win you the mid.
That's it, especially because there's very, very few health packs in terms of anywhere where you can fight on mid. It all seems to be, you know, either a tiny pack or you're already gone. But I think we will actually be going live in just a few seconds, so it's going to take some time to just mentally prepare ourselves. This is Week 4. This is ETF2L Premiership, SVIFT versus Se7en, Season 30, sponsored by SVIFT Trading on scrap.tf. Here we go. And live. Going to be going to this first mid more or less any second.
Any predictions, eepily, quickly?
Oh, I think it'll be Se7en's map, but only by a little bit. Kind of a 2-1-3-1 kind of thing. Gonna have a look at Cadis towards this mid, see exactly what his rollout's gonna be.
I'm gonna go for a 4-2.
Our left. Couple stickies gets him there pretty speedy. Actually, Mir did more or less the same kind of thing. We are seeing this demo fight a little bit early on. Not managing too much though, and this is where we see our soldiers jump deep, really deep from the Se7en soldiers. Really, really good damage. Mir and Happy already going down. The soldier desperately trying to get on seeds, but this is incredibly quick. Se7en mid. Condog definitely recognizes instantly. He's gone. Him and Crafty are all the way out.
Yeah, so that is crucial that Crafty and Connor survive. They'll be completely safe in spawn. But I noticed that mid, again, obviously highlighting the demo fight as I am a demo main, but Cadis decided to shoot. They both did a very fast rollout through the little door on the left as you look at it. Or on the right as you look at it, I guess. But whatever. They both came very fast, but Cadis shot at the choke and Smiri shot at the demo, and it kind of, as it happened, Smiri sort of overextended a bit and got killed by the bomb by Eemes, and that was really crucial because after that, demo could just walk in. So I think Cadis showing his wealth of experience, even compared to Smir, who is obviously an experienced demo. He's got it worked out. He knows what he's doing here.
Yeah, speaking of which, you know, perfectly little predictor trap on Chris there. I think Se7en's going to be looking for an opportunity to try and get something here. He said, you know, SVIFT not trying to give anything away. I mean, jump straight in, not really able to get anything.
Obliterated. That was crazy.
Said with Condog playing right next to Shutter. Oh, nope. Okay, Idiski's out again. Yeah, this seems like so tricky to get a force from this position. He's literally playing inside spawn and still able to heal his team.
Yeah, it's SVIFT seem to have a pretty good hold right now. He did have a pretty innovative sentry spot on top of the tank, you know, so like if the Russians had that in World War II, they would have won it a lot quicker, maybe, I don't know.
It's basically like having two guns, really, if you think about it.
Is it Russian? Or is it... No, I guess it's American, it's got a star in it. My bad. Well, that would be a... Yeah. But with that sentry just covering so much of the ground, the sacks from, as I was saying earlier, like the sack, it's so hard to get the sacrifices but from the soldiers to get anything.
Yeah, so we have got Credu sniping now, trying to take some space on left. We have Chris on Spy moving towards a lower lobby. Both teams trying to desperately get something done. Credu's kind of peeking and prodding, but he does manage to get one immediately. Smizzy goes straight down. This is going to be time for Chris to maybe get in position. He's decloaking directly behind Seeds, but Seeds spots it. It's going to be down to Revolver. Oh my god, Seeds is going crazy weak. Okay. living on 9 HP. And in all of that, like I said, you know, Smizzy's down, and this is great positioning from Eemes and Adiski. Already going again, forcing off the Uber. They might even just live here.
Yeah, that's really well played by them. And I would just mention, there's a fantastic milk from Seeds. We saw in his first season of Prem, he's always been known as a kind of a pussy popping medic, but that was really, really well done for him for that milk. And Cade's a huge Uber into spawn here, going to catch 2 players off. And there's really nothing Swift can do here.
Yeah, as long as Se7en just, you know, chill out, play a little bit slow. They've done so much damage. His gun's not really going to do anything. Yep, that's a round right there.
I mean, the sentry swap before on the tank I thought was pretty good, but so Crafty had it under there, and that meant the Cadus could jump straight into spawn without being pushed back or anything. And if you can do that and there are people outside of spawn, that's the best situation for a demo. You just lock them out and get free kills. So I know, I feel like having the sentry in a better spot to deny the demo would have really helped them in that last push.
Yeah, and this is it going to the second mid now. Cadus doing the exact same things before. Smear this time playing a little bit towards choke, you know. He's been burned before, so he's a little bit slow, but so much damage goes. Like, Smizzy almost goes down immediately. Yep, Condog's dead as well. And Seeds is, you know, seemingly uncontested by really anything. A couple late frags finally go the way of Swift, and they might even, nope, just about don't manage to get Cadus there, so. And just, this is coming down so much to just the earlier part of the mids as far as I can see.
Just really great early damage from Cadus, and once he's cooled all that damage, the Sollies just know that they can get in and bomb pretty much whoever they want, and they will be killing them with 1 or 2 rockets. So just so easy for Se7en. And once they've done that, you know, the 2 scouts, Thalash and Credy, they're not going to be missing people if they're going to be rushing their mid without heals after mid. So it's just really clinical mid for Se7en, to be honest.
Yeah, we did just see Adiski even checking classes just there, just I would imagine make Se7en's push a little bit easier. They will be going through far left from the attacking side. Going to try and get through without using, which they've done perfectly so far. And the thing is, with Swift basically playing in spawn, I mean, this just seems that as long as Cadus can lock down his choke point, sorry, this shutter, okay, he does just about, yep, pipes are coming out, and they're getting so much time on point. This is going to be so hard for Swift to hold. Yep, that's another round right there.
Yeah, it was
so fast.
Actually a huge airplay from Cadus under Chris. He was really low after the Uber because he got juggled by the sentry when he tried to go in deep, but yeah, he really hit a nice air pipe onto Chris, which otherwise I think Chris would have killed him there, and they probably would have lost the last push. So that's pretty clutch by Cadus.
Pretty good stuff, like I said. Pretty, you know, probably the fastest we've seen Se7en play in about 3 seasons. You know, 2 rounds in about 6 minutes, not even that. So here we are. I think this is all going to be coming down to Swift's early part of the mids. Really deep soldier bomb. Nice actually air shot on Eemes, but Chris is going to go straight down.
Oh, Adiski's such a huge bomb there.
This damage just seems to be always just going the way of Se7en, and then they're just playing so close to Seeds in the slight afterfight that, you know, again, it's another mid seemingly really contested.
I mean, so I can kind of potentially get a read on what the Swift players were thinking there. They knew that Cadus was doing a lot of mid, and so I think Chris bombed him really early, but Cadus was completely ready for it. He did a bit of early damage this time, but he was a lot more passive. So the Chris bomb came in and was just essentially a feed into the scouts up top, with Cadus still, even though he was passive, getting better early damage than Smire. So yeah, Cadus just outplaying Swift again.
Yeah, I think if we keep up at this kind of pace, I think we're going to be seeing some big damage stats from Cadus. Like I said, based almost entirely on these mids alone. So now on the side of Swift, we've got a Spy, we have Sniper, we have NG. They're desperately going to see if they can get something done. It's going to be interesting to see whether Se7en decide to slow it down or just want to kind of keep rolling forward with momentum. They might even expect Chris to be in this kind of a lower lobby position. He's going to be doing almost the exact same as what he's doing before, and it seems like Thalash is aware.
Yeah, he seems to be checking it. Thalash is one of those players. He knows exactly what's going on. He knows the spots to check. He's been trying to do it from his point of view as the Spy before, so he knows, even though it's a new map, he's got his eye on Chris. So it's going to be really difficult for Chris to make a play.
Then meanwhile, in all of that, we did have a nice double bomb from both the Se7en soldiers, but unfortunately, when Condog just stands in spawn, there isn't actually a great deal you can do with soldier bombs. So we are seeing these attacking spawns come into it. Immediately, Chris is getting on Cadus. Okay, that's a good start to this push. And he's going to get out alive, so he's going to be annoying, but they still have to kind of get through this Uber on the point, and with Smear going down immediately, that's going to have to be a cancel from Swift.
God, that was really weird from Smear. I mean, it looked like he wanted to take a solo in there or something with a demo pick, but Connor, I don't know if there's some kind of miscommunication there, but Connor was really far back, and he just got completely baited. We're going to see an Uber trade on point here. Eemes is going to go behind and get a nice kill onto Chris. So actually, really good space taken from Se7en here over on the left side. Eemes is just distracting everyone to go into the low ground, so it looks like Se7en are winning the positional fight, I think.
Yeah, unfortunately, they do have Cradle and Sniper, not the best kind of a class to have in this situation, unless he can go absolutely crazy. But if they play point, does it matter too much? It goes down to a 2v2.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, yeah, the Ham more or less wins out that round right there.
Yeah.
I don't know why I talk trash. Cradle caps it anyway.
Cradle just bashes Samsy to death with the ham. That's not the kind of end to a last push that you want if you're Swift. I mean, potentially with them getting absolutely nothing out of this game so far, other than a 3-round deficit. With that kind of essentially a 50-50 last push that they shouldn't really lose, they're losing it. So Swift potentially could be tilted now. I don't know.
I mean, I did see Credu typing the question marks in chat. Once the question marks come out, you know it's more or less over. So here we are, another mid. This time Swift playing slightly further back to begin with. Ams goes down instantly. That's good. Chris goes down as well. Adiski's getting super deep, but good position taken from
Huge
Se7en.
from Seeds.
Yeah, really nice stuff. Again, he just doesn't seem to want to die, and we're in a situation where it's just Condog desperately trying to run away with a scout. He should, yeah, he's going to be getting out quite easily. Se7en are just quite content to take take second again, and playing this same kind of second to last transition we've seen 3 times already.
I mean, time and time again, we see the chaos of the mid goes down. You know, players are traded up and down, but then at the end of it, it's Seeds, and he has 2 scouts, and they're on the beam, probably on the hut. And they just demolish everything. There's nothing can come near him. And you know, when you've got scouts with that good DM and being healed by a medic, it's like Siege is going to get the heals onto them exactly when they need it. It's really hard to play against.
Yeah, they said for as long as they get this early damage in, as long as, you know, these soldier bombs can at least distract, this chariot is just going to absolutely carry Se7en to victory. So again, we're going to see this little bit of peeking towards lobby. Once again, Sniper and NG up on the side of Swift. But not really anyone in a position to peek too close. Chris very nearly dies. Yep, he's going to go down. Am's really fast on that pickup of damage. And getting a nice little air shot there, but will eventually get taken down, so.
Yep, Se7en just poking and prodding. But Swift, they're going to rebuff them this time. But we'll see if they actually try and do something with this pick. Yeah, they're going to be coming into the lobby here. Yeah, they need to be careful not to overextend this. Cadis has almost all the doors trapped up pretty well. Pappy's going to sack from bottom right. He's going to go really deep, but it looks like he's getting denied by the scouts. He's just going to jump out, and yeah, there's really Swift looking like they kind of don't really have a plan here for trying to break the stalemate. I don't know.
No, definitely. I said, like, yeah, you could try and go for a big bomb like that, but as you've said so many times before, these scouts are just able to output so much damage, hit so many shots, and especially now Krady's up on the sniper, it's going to be so difficult to really get anything done. Adiski does manage to find himself in the sightlines of a sniper, so he'll make things a little bit easier for Swift, but again, we have to see something more creative from them. They can't just kind of try these same kind of stacks. It's not really seeming to do anything. Like, we've already seen some Spy, it's not really done a lot. In terms of aggressive picks on Sniper, we haven't seen too much from them, but it just seems to be, like you said, this last to kind of second, trying to break that Equilibra stalemate is just proving tricky.
Yeah. It's, I mean, so if you're trying to come out of the lobby, so either out of the lobby into last or out of the lobby sacking players into second, or also into Se7en, it's just so hard because there's such small choke points and such nice high ground, like on the point and or on either point really. Yeah, it's just very difficult to get anything done with a soldier sack.
Yeah, and I think at this point, you know, 3 rounds up in quite a short amount of time, Se7en is pretty content to not go absolutely crazy.
Yep.
Especially getting that kill on Pappy. That's going to be good. That's going to open up some space for Credu to maybe start peeking towards Bauk. Some little bombs from the Se7en soldiers, just taking some position. But like I said, they don't really have to do anything too much. They don't have to commit too heavily. It's kind of all really on Credu to try and see what he can hit. Then if he hits nothing, who cares?
Exactly. And I mean, so far Connor's playing pretty safe behind the heart. Credu's been taking a few shots, but all the Swift players have been healed up, so it's looking alright for them. But Cardinal's going to go down here, so this is a decent opportunity, 2 picks, although Cadis will pick up Pappy. That's getting a lot of damage into this window room. Looks like they're taking trading.
Smear going down is absolutely disastrous. That's exactly the opposite of what you want to see here, so we might actually end up seeing Se7en. Yep, they're going to try and bust all the way through Bauk, maybe take some position on left like we've seen so many times before. Both
Chris is going to go for a flank here.
Yeah, he's trying to, but he's taking so much damage, and Siege has got so far through. Big double bombs from the soldiers, but no Uber's going to get forced on the side of Swift, and Se7en is going to be running all the way back to second, content that they at least had the shot.
That flank from Chris, even though he didn't really get anything, was still pretty crucial because it dragged the 7 players back, made them think about the threat to their medic rather than trying to force the other one, and you know, really saved his last push there. But Eemes is going to be traded over the point here, and
this is going to come down so much to Thalash in this 1v1 against Chris. Actually, Smizzy's come back as well. He might actually win this 2v1. Smiz back as well. Okay. More or less the entirety of Swift had to back up there for Thalash, more or less just walking in. This might be a little chance for Se7en to go in, but losing a Disky, is it worth it? No, so much cap from Credu. Oh my god, he just walks in.
That was... Credu capped the point in front of literally 3 players who just all were tunneling someone else. That's kind of another heartbreak round for Swift, really.
Yeah, I said it's just looking pretty disastrous from them so far. Obviously, an incredibly strong showing in the season so far, but definitely on this map against this team, Swift do seem a bit kind of lost.
Yeah. Smiray's going to choose for the... Oh, no. He's going through the house this time. Similar to Cadis, so we'll see if they can actually get something out of the early fight. Decent positioning from Swift this mid. We'll see if someone's going to want to aggress now. Both teams are very, very passive here. Smiray's getting some good damage into the scouts, but nothing still is happening. Chris can go for the flank from the house, but he's been seen by the scouts. He's going to get absolutely nothing, and Se7en are just taking so much space.
Yeah, like I said, this is only really trading soldiers so far. It's not the end of it so far, but as these frags start to come in, Cadis starts to push forward, and actually he does go down himself. This is coming down to a 3v3, a little bit of a scrappy fight. Better positioning for Se7en, though. They actually look like they want to try and chase just that little bit, just to ensure Swift are forced all the way back, and yeah, now Credu and Seeds will walk all the way back and manage to get this cap. Just thinking about it for a second, I'm not sure if we've seen Seeds die so far. We've been seeing some absolutely exceptional play on these mids. He just doesn't seem to ever get hit. It's pretty special.
Yeah, he's just... They're playing in such a way that he's just so far behind everyone that he's just safe and happy, and the soldiers do not dare bomb him because they're just going to feed to the scouts. But yeah, that mid, I mean, it looked like Swift were doing a lot better there without... You know, the early fight was pretty much 50-50, the damage that was traded, but I think essentially the problem there was that Chris tried to come in on the flank in the little room far right, but he got completely denied by the scout looking at him, and that meant that Se7en could just walk over essentially 6v5 and just slowly grind out the positioning fight and force Swift back.
Yeah, it actually seems like, at least for a second, it seemed like Se7en might want to do the exact same thing. They're actually walking straight through Cafe, going to take some position towards right.
Yeah.
Actually, fantastic high ground you can see from this right side of point, and with Swift on this low ground, you know, this is a case of get some kind of dodgy trade or just kind of run away.
I mean, Smiray's in the worst position on the map right now. He's below the point. He can't see anything.
So much damage from a Disky. This bomb was absolutely exceptional. Takes 2 frags. Condor gets forced off. Seeds does actually drop Cadis. Just he has to use.
Not going to be happy about that one.
No, he's going to be fuming in chat. As long as they can take down, yep, Swizzy goes down behind, Smear goes down in front.
Credu's going to go for a taunt. Just to sink the knife in onto Samsy. I know Samsy's a tiltable player and that could really, you know, mess it up for Swift. But actually, Se7en kind of overextending after that better Uber, so they might not be able to... Well, Swift are going to be able to contest second, and yeah, Se7en are just going to have to leave. But,
yeah, definitely.
I mean, potentially the taunt there meant that they couldn't roll on as quickly as they wanted to. But again, so one player on Swift is feeding somewhere, and that just allows Se7en to walk in and start doing what they want, although ADC has been traded off, so never mind, Se7en aren't going to leave.
Yeah, it seems like Se7en is just getting a bit full of themselves right now, a little bit kind of peeking and prodding just that little bit too hard. You know, Seeds very nearly ended up dying there, so I think they're just going to have to take a second to kind of compose themselves, and we might actually see if Se7en play this a little bit kind of riskier, because, you know, they reckon they got this one in the bag. Maybe this is where Swift can start getting some rounds back, because, you know, they may be having some difficulty, but not making things too easy for Se7en. So Eemes jumps straight in, actually, surround a Condor, gets that force actually pretty easily. Yeah. Damage too, so unfortunately for Swift, this is now going to be another uber disadvantage. Hold on second. And I think so much is going to come down to whether they can spam effectively enough to force his Uber off.
But it looks like it. I mean, this right side is really, really choky, and if the demo's hiding close like Smeary is, he's going to get a lot of damage onto them. Kid is trying to walk through, but he doesn't have a soldier with him to, like, open up the fight, so he's just getting absolutely spammed up by Smeary, and the flank for Se7en is fighting on their own, but somehow they're getting picked, even though they're completely alone. Cadis is going to go so deep. Oh my god, Cadis with a huge bomb! He didn't even get Ubered there. He didn't even need it. He just goes in and absolutely annihilates them. That's insane.
Okay,
Somebody's gonna
that's
hide, but
ridiculous. Yeah, I said we've got basically 6 seconds before anyone's up now. Smithy's just on the low ground. Uber's being shared across everyone. That's a 5-0.
did Seeds
Ooh,
die?
what a way to end it. I think he must have at least once, right? At least once.
Let's have a look. See, he had one death. Unfortunate for Seeds there.
Very
But-
nearly the perfect game, but yeah,
Yeah.
talk about dominating.
Yeah, definitely. Just Se7en just showing. I don't know. They're not even necessarily that they were out DMing them. They just had the. I mean, this map is the reason I quite like it. Actually, there's a lot of positioning that there's a lot of places that you really, really don't want to stand. A lot of places you really, really do. And if you're just all that needs to happen for you to lose a fight is for you to your combo to be standing in the wrong position, and then you just lose because you're on low ground or you can't, contest properly. And Se7en seem to have that completely. They understand exactly what they need to do. Whereas Swift, you just saw them standing in weird places pretty much the whole map. So I guess Se7en have worked it out a lot quicker than Swift did, to be honest.
They're definitely, and there was it's kind of been mentioned a lot of times that best way to win games in TF2 is to have really, really dominating mids. Dominating mids is the key to just rolling rounds and kind of getting a couple on the board before the game really even gets too much into it. And it just seems to be that's what happened for Se7en. Almost every mid was a case of just dominating start, and then from that, Swift were forced to a more difficult position in the kind of middle part of the actual mid fight itself, and being at so much of a health deficit, he never really got that big opportunity. So we saw that one mid, but that did seem, that was the only opportunity they really had. And even that, they kind of end up almost like a kind of 50-50. People didn't quite their shots losing. It was, it just seemed to be Swift is completely lost on these mids. Is not really sure what to do to kind of try and compete against Se7en. I said we've got some stats on the screen now. I mean, first thing that instantly comes out is just how few deaths were on the side of the Se7en scouts. 4 apiece. One death on Seeds. Exactly what you said. Seeds was just getting charioted around by these scouts, just not letting anyone get anywhere near. Any soldier who dared cross the paths of Crater and Thalas just got shot straight out of the sky. So,
I mean, actually, disregarding the player stats, the real story of this game is slightly below that. So the damage that each team did, Se7en did about 1k more damage, but as you can see, they got about 17 more frags, which is 53 to 36, and they won every single mid. So it wasn't a case of Swift getting out DM'd, but or not so much, but they were just simply being outplayed, I think.
Yeah, I said definitely. It just seemed that even in these situations where Swift can output a lot of damage, they just wasn't quite able to get, that like 1 or 2 picks, which suddenly make the rest of your mid fight so much easier. Se7en is definitely on it today in terms of their focus fire, in terms of their calls, it would seem. So going into Viaduct, I think this may be looking a little bit rough for Swift after something like that. Going into this kind of map where focus fire and kind of really well timed damage can be really, really fundamental to holding the point or being able to retake it. Sometimes without even having to use an Uber or something. I think definitely hoping to see some stronger kind of more planned out play from Swift. I said this is a map which has been in for seasons and seasons.
Yeah.
It always feels like a little bit weird because obviously it's the only Koth map we have, but it's got to the point where everyone at the highest level will know the fundamentals of Viaduct, and it isn't quite like Cardinal where sometimes there are hiding spots which you can't see, and it can all go kind of crazy.
At least, regardless of anything else, Swift will know more or less where to stand on this map, as opposed to potentially on Cardinal.
Yeah, so we are looking at some stats right now in terms of who's been owning who. I said, good stuff from Smithy and Crafty in terms of keeping Adiski and Eemes, or well, at least cleaning up the frags on Adiski and Eemes, but more or less the rest of it all seems to have gone the way of Se7en. Like I said, Smear getting caught out at least twice that I counted. Really, really fundamental situations where you've just got to have your demo stay alive, and Smear would end up dying. We saw one on second where he fell to the floor, and one just in lobby, just as he got a little bit too aggressive out of last. And, once he goes down, it suddenly makes things so much more difficult for Swift to really do anything. And that's where we saw these far left kind of slow pushes from Se7en, where they take the high ground and force out an Uber and then can, either get a much better Uber out of the trade or just not even have to use it at all.
Yep. Here I found another telling stat for you, which is that the deaths of Seeds, both Scouts and Cadis combined is the same deaths as Pappy. And indeed 2 less than Chris. And I mean, it's the same really for a D-Skib. So, again, the story of this game was the soldiers, as you see on all the mids and a lot of the last stalemates, just go as deep as they can, try to make space. And yeah, the Scouts and Demo just really not dying at all and just sitting back and being the rock of the team that just walks forwards and eliminates everyone.
Yeah, and I think going into this is it, second map of the night, Viaduct said season 30, week 4, Swift versus Se7en. And we are going to be seeing, from the looks of it, we're going to have Thasha and Eemes on scout for the side of Se7en and Credu already on sniper, whereas Swift is opting for a more traditional class composition. So we'll be seeing whether Credu can do anything from this cliff position, and more importantly, if Swift can predict it. Maybe they get some more aggression onto him, see what they can make happen. But a little bit of a slow mid so far. No one's going super deep. The bombs do come in from at least one of the Swift soldiers. Great position being taken. Credu's not really seeming to do too much here. And while Cadis is outputting damage, the rest of his team seems to be getting absolutely mocked up by the side of Swift. Credu does manage to hit his first real shot of the game. But
that mean we really saw the... Well, so Sniper's great when he's hitting shots, but Credu didn't hit a shot for quite a long time into the mid. I mean, I don't know if that was Swift's positioning or not, but if he's not doing that, then he's essentially just a man down. So we just had a quick pause, but I think it's over.
I think we're all good here.
Yeah.
So we're going to see an Uber come out from the side of Swift. Is going to get traded by Se7en pretty easily. It's not going to be too crazy. Smizzy's actually spawned on sniper himself to take down Credu. That's going to make things pretty easy. Almost kind of free sniping. Yeah, another headshot straight under Thas. That's going to make things so good for this Swift hold of mid. Eemes is desperately trying to get something done, and while Se7en might get the cap from this, they've got to be really, really careful not to lose Seeds here. He's getting weak. He's desperately trying to get out of right side. Okay, it does look like he will just about manage to live, but Eemes is absolutely beasting.
Wow. Yeah, that was a crazy play from Eemes. Here, I mean, so Connor is some kind of meme is on the weird knife weapon. If you'd actually been on the saw, you would have 25% add here, which would have actually been pretty huge because as Seeds approach the point, they could just Uber into them. But I mean, we saw Samzy kill Credu and then hit another shot, and then hit Cadis again with a great headshot. And I mean, essentially that's pretty much it. The snipers are winning Swift the fight, and that's all you really need to see. Credu does get a counter pick onto Chris there.
Yeah, and I said definitely when these snipers are getting early picks, which seems to be going all the way out of Smizzy so far, it makes that fight so much easier for you. And another one from Smizzy takes down Eemes, just found a little body shot to clean him up. Does seem like Se7en a little bit uncertain of what to do. Credu needs to start hitting some of these shots. Adiski's desperately trying to get behind, but not going to do a great deal. And once again,
Smur's going to go really deep, chasing the men out. He's going to overextend though. He hits a nice pipe on the Thatch, but again, this is the second time in about 2 minutes really that I've seen Smir really overextend to try and kill Seeds and just speed because of it. And I mean, this time they're probably going to get punished for it because they can just walk over and there's no demo on Swift, so Se7en should be able to just walk in. Although Pappy, both stories going to bomb. It's a great milk from Seeds.
Seeds! That's okay. That's awesome. From my point of view, that just looked absolutely incredible. Yeah. Maybe it was a weirder, but when both soldiers go in and then somehow Seed is living on 100, that's just so good for them.
He had complete faith in Cadis's sticks just essentially on the floor. That when both soldiers landed, they're about to just absolutely destroy him, maybe even drop him if he wasn't reacting quickly. Cadis just eliminates them from the server, and what should have been a really easy force is now not. And now Swift have to approach the point with a sniper, so it's going to be hard for them to aggress, and so they lose 2 really, really early.
Yeah, I said it's great positioning from Se7en in terms of taking ball playing forward. Smear very, very nearly hit the wonder pipe on the Seeds there, but no, once again that Uber won't get forced out, and Se7en's actually already in a forward holding position. Cadis on the right, we have all your boys on left with Seeds. Going to be all on whether Cadis can manage to not die on the right. Okay, he's so lucky.
Wow.
Oh my god. Okay.
Oh, Connor drops, I think. I didn't actually see what happened, but that must have been a crazy play by Thalash. That was really weird. Cadis just refused to debt stickies for even the first 2 players that came in because he knew his team would help him out, and then that meant that no players on Swift could walk in. So that was pretty brainily played by him. Although now that 3 players and 7 have died with slower spawns, yeah, Swiftly just being able to walk in, and Cadis really does not want to Uber here on his own. I mean, if he doesn't make a good Uber of it, then he'll have hit really good shots. But yeah, and he's going to go to Samsey actually. So this is really looking bad for Se7en here, making this repush.
Yeah, definitely. I said we've seen really high impact frags from Smithy. He's just. It's not just the fact that he's hitting shots, it's the fact that the shots he's hitting, like I said, like Cadis dying there is so important to prevent Se7en from doing anything too much, but does get used. I guess Smear, not a lot else. Condog is managing to live here. Se7en will get control of point, but it actually looks like Swift are going to desperately try and run through. They know they're on 80%.
Swift needs to get Zuma, but Adisi's spawned to Condog. He's gonna. Oh, that's a. That was. Yeah, I mean, I feel like if Condog had Uber there, he may well have popped that. But yeah, it's a nice dodge from him. And all their players up, Swift are able to make this repush. And actually, 2 picks they shouldn't even have to use here. Although Credu is in a cheeky angle, so he might be able to get a shot onto Connor. We'll see how they approach this point if they can do it safely. Cadis also has sticks everywhere, so Swift are just walking in right now. They got a pick, they got Uber, yeah. And Se7en are just going to be bullied out.
Yeah, in all of that though, it did seem like a. I appreciate Swift's desire to, just play safe enough so that you don't have to use, but it is actually only about 25 seconds remaining on the clock for Se7en. This is kind of coming down to that time where Condog's will be really wary of this sniper. Just one random little body shot could actually almost lose them the entire round, so...
Although he is very safe right now, and Samsey's actually in a great position to deny the point if they come in. Cadis is going to walk over, try and take a trade. It's going to be a bit later. Ramirez with a better Uber, although Connor has flashed, so it's a pretty even trade here. Cadis is taking a lot of space in the point, and Se7en just need to collapse over point now. See how well they do this, and looking like going pretty well. The scouts really great focus fire, and they're going to push over the right. Got a sniper not being able to hit headshots here, just like with his SMG out, and that's terrible for Se7en, for Swift, I mean. So yeah, really convincing fight from Se7en there.
Yeah, it's going to come down to just like, the 7 scouts that just seem to absolutely beast over them. It looks so good for Swift for so long, and then just this later little bit of the fight just seemed to be like, again, the focus fire is important. They're hitting their shots. Do you think at this point, maybe you'll disagree? I'm not sure how much the Credu sniper is really doing. I mean, sure, it's annoying, but wouldn't Se7en be doing just as well with Credu scout and Eemes playing soldier? But this is going to come down to this little scrappy fight on the point, but everything is going the way of Se7en, so this is looking to be the first round to them. Closer than I expected, though. I said only 8 seconds remaining on Swift's timer.
I mean, I think potentially a lot of that is, at this point in the game, we would not expect Credu to be on 8 points. We'd expect him to be on about 20, 30, with some crazy, frag movie plays already. But he hasn't been doing that, so that's really been allowing Swift to get a little bit more purchase in the game than perhaps we might have expected. Yeah,
and I said fantastic sniping from Smithy so far. Really kind of making things happen for his team, making it so much easier to take some of this position. But Condog's immediately getting body shot from Credu, so that's almost going to spell curtains for the Swift mid. This early, it's going to be people jumping super deep to try and get on seeds. Can the boy wonder live again? Looks like he's going to. The only real risk at this point now is going to be Smithy in this cliff position, but...
Yeah. There should be no way Samsey can get anything. Yeah, Cam's is actually going to get onto him. Should be probably a free pick here. Unless he gets a crazy headshot, but no. So, I mean, Samsey got some decent frags in that mid, but they were just way too late. Credu got the body shot so early onto Connor, there was really nothing Swift could do, particularly... When you have a sniper, it's a lot harder for you to just go full commit aggressing, and yeah, it really didn't work out for them there.
Yeah, definitely. I said it really matters being able to have those heals on the mid fight because, buffs against no buffs not going to make things particularly easy. But as he's still spawning on sniper, we're going to have some big bombs coming straight into seeds. Smith trying to get some big damage. Actually, his pipe does hit seeds, so that's going to be a drop. Finally, managed to see seeds do something wrong here, but beautiful pipes from Smith.
I really didn't quite see that. That must have been a really crazy one, or maybe even a roller. But Seeds, you've seen him milk really well twice this game, and this is the first time he's been punished for that. But so he'll probably be kicking himself there. But to be honest, you win some, you lose some when you milk like that, and it really wouldn't have been a great Uber there anyway. So I think it's worth it to try and milk it. To be honest,
yeah,
Cadis got great stick shot from Cadis.
Yeah, nice little stickies, and actually huge damage. Crafty and Pappy are so weak now. I mean, yeah, Eemes is going to go fully on the hunt. He really wants to just show Pappy what he's made of, and now he's going to be getting directly behind Condog. He's going to force off the Uber as well. This is so good, and Adiski and Eemes being behind for just so long. Actually, it seems like Se7en's just going to get complete control of this point for free. Still big damage coming in from a Disky, but eventually he will get taken down here.
Swift had really the worst possible class composition there to deal with bombing soldiers behind. They had a sniper and a demo, and yeah, really not what you want to see. That's the disadvantage of having a sniper there, really. But Seeds is going to just have to leave there after 3 of his players go down. Actually, how
Oh my god, Eemes again! What are you doing? He just walks straight in behind, takes down Condog. Smizzy doesn't even care.
That is another of those tilt kind of picks. Like, there should be no way Connor dies there. I didn't see where Eemes came in from, but he was surrounded. Connor was surrounded by his team. Should have been no way. But now this is a really handsome Uber advantage for Seeds, and then Cadis is just going to walk in with this. We'll see if he does it Uber deep or just takes the point for free.
I said you would imagine with how far back Swift is playing. I said it's only this risk of this sniper that's really going to be a problem, but they have so much time. It's going to be looking all good and with a huge Uber advantage. And again, clock's ticking down for Se7en, so it's still going to be a bit on Smizzy and the rest of the Swift boys to try and see what they can make happen. Big bombs come in again. This time the pipe doesn't quite land, but Uber does get forced.
Yep. So that is pretty crucial there, that force. I mean, honestly, knowing that they had that much Uber advantage, Se7en could have played a bit more passive with Seeds, but I mean, that's fine. They're happy with that. They've delayed another 30 or so seconds for that sack wave, and although Swift will have the Uber advantage here, it's only a minute of time that Se7en need to cap, and it's still looking pretty good for them this round.
Yeah, again, like it's getting to the point where tiny little mistakes might cause Swift another round. Odysseus going to go behind, try and get some damage onto this sniper. Very nearly takes him out, but meanwhile, Condog's Uber gets forced on basically nothing really. They not really achieve anything with it. I said the rest of Se7en so far away, and once again they're going to have this big advantage to repush when they quite feel like
and
it.
Smear's going to go down again to a scout when he's pressuring forward. I feel like so often this game I've seen Smear aggressive and like trying to get a nice pick, but his scouts just aren't quite with him, and he's just overextending and dying, and it's happening so much that it's really hurting Swift, because you need your demo to control the space in this map.
Yeah, I said we praised Smear enough in the pre-game. Unfortunately, in the actual game so far, it just seems like maybe he's kind of calling his team's not quite keeping up with him, but I don't know, there's some kind of disconnect, and it's really hurting their ability to push forward. But
Cadis is going to go deep with the Uber, but actually no, he doesn't get the flash, and he's going to just quite sensibly sit back. He knows he could have potentially gone for a med frag there, but he doesn't really need to. They've got a lot of time. They can just wait for this Uber, and if it's anything like the last Uber, then Swift are going to be getting absolutely nothing out of it. As Adisky does just about escape his life from being in a funny position. Gets a nice arrow from Seeds.
Yeah, so here we are. This is Swift's chance to try and make something big happen again. Taking a bit of spam. Crady does go down, makes things a little bit easier for them, but once again, Uber gets forced off. Smear jumps super deep. Again, trying to get some damage. This time he picks up Seeds. That's really what you want to see.
Yeah.
Okay, now suddenly it's looking good for Swift, as long as they can keep Condog alive.
Yeah,
big damage,
Se7en just need to aggress here, but they're not going to get anything, I think.
Yeah, I think definitely at this point, Se7en kind of realised that they're going to play together, but again, 1 minute 15 remaining for Swift. It's only 6 seconds that they're Se7en lead, and really Swift's advantage is only about 20%. It's not absolutely huge. There's plenty of time for Se7en to build us up and just trade and go for a repush.
Yep. I mean, ideally Se7en would like to go before either of the Ubers are charged up here. Athanasis is going to go Pyre through the left side. He's got a nice reflect, I think. Take a lot of space.
Jumps in super deep. Yep, pipe straight onto Condog.
That's huge.
And actually another pipe onto Pappy. Seeds doesn't even go down to this scout. Absolutely fantastic for them. It's just going to be all down to Pappy and Smeared desperately running in. He'll take down Cadis, but he'll be nowhere near the point. And Siege has nearly got his Uber from that saw. And once again, this is going to be 6 seconds and Amni and Uber to fight with it. So I think Siege can more or less just use as soon as he gets it.
Oh no.
Nobody won't. This headshot
but
from
it won't
Smizzy.
matter.
Oh,
It will not matter. But,
that was could have been the start of a crazy little repush there.
Yeah, I mean, Se7en, they had about a minute there to break the forward hold, and they had like 30% Uber disad. That could have, if they were, a lesser team, that could have been the situation where they all went wrong for them in that round. But they knew exactly what they wanted to do. They sent Pyre through left side. He got reflect. Everyone went through. Cadis goes deep and kills the medic, and it was just really a clinical push out of the forward hold.
Yeah, well, call me a mind reader, Eemes, but looks like we are going to be seeing Crady on scout. They're ditching the sniper job and instead just going super deep. This damage from Eemes is absolutely huge. Again, Condor goes down instantly. Going to be all on playing around Seeds as Crady is doing well, and yeah, with Crafty and Pappy being this weak, I can't imagine they're going to really stand too much of a chance. Really fast.
Yeah, I mean, here you see the benefit of not having a sniper. Eemes and Adiski just goes so deep. Eemes with a crazy bomb on the point, his 2 fat directs, Adiski coming in as well, and when you don't have a sniper, your whole team can just follow up on that so quickly. And I mean, Samzi, I think he might have hit a shot in that mid, but it was just too little too late. They'd already won, they'd already taken all the space they needed.
Yeah, definitely. So I think maybe Swift even got kind of a bit confused, you know? 7 plays 2 rounds of sniper, then suddenly they switch it up, and as fast as that on the mid,
Yeah.
can really, I think, it caught them a little bit off guard, but this is going to come down to Seeds taking a big rocket, surfing. Okay, will get forced. They'll manage to take down our bombing gentleman, but not too bad for Swift. They did manage to get out. Hotdog's going to be living again, even though we're going to see a little bit of pressure here and there, so getting that pick on a disc is actually be really good for them as well.
Yeah, that's actually kind of a bad death there from Adiski, getting way too aggressive there, and that's going to make it completely free repush for Swift. They should not be popping here at all, because there's no soldiers for them for Se7en to force. They should be taking this point for free and actually having. If they want to start getting back into this game, they're going to need to hold this point for a while after they've kept it. Eemes is going to go for a really poorly timed bomb, and again, Se7en are just a soldier down and with absolutely nothing to show for it.
Yeah, it's a really clean push from Swift there. That was fantastic. I think Condog took about 10 damage in that entire thing, so from him, and they still have about 30% to play with, and they know at this point this is kind of like that nice feeling on Viaduct where you've got a sniper, you've got the Uber, you know they've got to come into you to trade, but it's so tricky because that kind of stuff's going to happen where suddenly you're 6v5.
Yeah, I think Thalash might have died while building Uber to a body shot because he wouldn't have been 185 with Samzi just in this really aggressive position. 7 were like quite pushed forward, building on cliff, and it's left them so vulnerable, like no heals on their flank, and the combo actually kind of weak that they're just going to have to back up. But they are attacking, so it is kind of alright for them that their spawns will be pretty good. So they're going to be making their approach to point here. They need to stay safe from this sniper. They're going to be Ubering across now. Yeah, Thalash is going to go deep, and it's going to be a trade of Ubers.
Oh, that's really good. Smithy's getting that pick on a disky. Just one soldier to worry about. Eemes is behind, but he does actually look like he's going to get cleaned up pretty quickly. Yep, he will. Devin's desperately trying to get on point, but I don't know. Another headshot goes down on Thalash. Cadis goes down as well, so really good stuff.
Smear
again,
Ooh.
so aggressive.
That could have been really clutch if you got that med pick, but still, Swift are absolutely happy with that. They've delayed a lot of time, got a pretty good Uber exchange, and they can just sit back. I mean, they are 1 pick down, so 7 honestly should go really aggressive now while Pappy's dead, and just take the fight as soon as humanly possible.
Yeah, especially with Smithy still up on the sniper, you know, they can't fight in the same way, and well, especially not anymore. Now Disky's hit 2 big rockets to take him straight down, just raining death down from above, but no, that's going to be a free point take from 7. And now, I think it's going to be Swift's opportunity to try and see if they can do something in this kind of equilibrious situation.
They're taking so much
comes
damage.
Down again.
Really nice pre-fire stickies from Cadis there. It is going to go down to Smeary, but he's absolutely dunked on the push from Swift coming in, and this should be a pretty good trade now for 7 if they Swift do decide to come in. They're going to drop Smeary.
Again. So it's absolutely disastrous. You can't keep seeing that time after time. It's like, again, was it him too far forward or Condog not quite reading where he was? But absolutely disastrous. And Condog goes down as well. Predu will die, so it is a little bit just Seeds and Cadis, but the timer is ticking. Seeds is going to be so far out. Maybe Swift will get just enough time on the point in order to cap it, but I think 7 is going to want to repush just as soon as they get their spawns.
Yep. So this is interesting. 7 essentially, they sacked pretty much their whole team to get that because they knew they had a better Uber, they could get Connor there, but obviously they have the worst spawns having the point, and this honestly is probably not the best decision to sack that many players because they're going to actually lose a lot of time. They have a tiny ad, but it's not really going to be enough if Swift, I mean, I don't know why Swift are letting them in here for free. They should be contesting points, 6v6, they don't have Uber. But yeah,
no,
Smear...
once again, you said like the Smear's the furthest guy by far forward. It seemed like Smear wanted to contest, but no one else really did.
Connor goes down behind Thalash with some crazy flank, and 7 can just back up and get this Uber. Although again, they've sacked players with the medic, and they're going to have Uber advantage, but they're not going to have. Oh, they do have the point. What? I mean, that's weird. Okay, well, as they did have the point, and that was a good play. But I guess Swift hadn't got it capped. Oh yeah, they let them cap for no reason. That was okay.
That was the thing. That was the thing that happened. But it's scrappy from 7 still. You know, no one really getting out with Seed, so does just only get the Uber now, and I think. Looks like they will want to try and take this for free. It's like Condog's playing pretty far back. They're taking a lot of damage. Uber does get used, so this is good stuff from Swift. This is what they wanted to see here. Now they just need to try and get out, not lose anyone really late here. But they've got to deal with a 7-4 total, and they've got 30 seconds and still 40% off Uber. But
Chris has gone all the way through though.
Yeah, absolutely. Taking all this position, which just Se7en didn't seem set up for at all, and with Cadus going down to a big pipe there, even Adiski's bomb's not really going to do too much. He's going to take down Smithy, and that's more or less it. So, Condog's getting there about 90% Uber, but 12 seconds remaining. As long as Seeds gets out here, logically, Se7en's going to have enough time to at least go for some kind of trade and recap.
Yeah, Se7en should be able to get Uber here. So this is essentially they'll get the Uber, they'll walk in, they'll trade a bit. Although Chris is fed, I don't know why Swift are going aggressive here. What? Why? Why would they?
Single time, it's just. I have no idea.
They do get Seeds, so no, that
can't have that happen.
That could be the saving grace, but it almost certainly won't be actually. As Connor is stuck so far in, all the 7 players are just going to collapse on them. They've they did exactly what Se7en did earlier. They sacked about 4 or 5 players for the med pick, and their Uber was so bad that it didn't matter that they got Seeds. Like Se7en would just them all, and this is going to be a round win for Se7en. So that's really, really convincing from Se7en. I mean, we thought Swift might take it. They're one of the stronger teams in Europe, potentially the second strongest. Who knows? You know, I thought they'd be getting some rounds today, but
yeah,
apparently not.
Like that last round for Swift was looking way better. They had some really, really clean repushes. They had some, great sniping from Smithy. Definitely looked like he seemed to be dominating the sniper fight. Maybe not in terms of one-on-ones, but in terms of individual impact, he was, you know, I think a pretty 5 or 6 frags on Cadus alone in really, really important situations. But just seems to be these same kind of little mistakes for Swift are really tripping them up. It's almost a little bit kind of sad to see, because that could have easily been around and almost a start of some momentum going the other way. Start make Se7en feel a little bit uncomfortable, but ultimately it's not how it went.
Nope.
So we will be able to see some logs, and like I said, yes, Smizzy absolutely pounding in terms of damage, top damaging on the server by quite a considerable margin, 350 DPM, 21 frags, absolutely pounding on Sniper, but ultimately doesn't really make up for some of the other stats we saw for the rest of Swift. Said, you know, definitely Pappy being the sole soldier, you know, you gotta give him a good break, but didn't seem like he was able to get a huge amount done. He was kind of given that really difficult role of dealing with a sniper without a soldier to kind of help you out, but said just didn't seem to be able to have that same kind of impact as even a Disky was having. But yeah, I said, who do you think was the kind of, other than Smizzy there, who do you think was some of the real standout players?
Probably I'd draw attention to the Eemes KD, 25 for 14. I think he's top fragging on the server, and you know, getting pretty good damage as well. So he was. I mean, normally Thalash goes pretty. I mean, with Se7en, like all the players on their team have the capacity to have like a insane game, and today it was Eemes. So yeah, I mean, he's been the superior scout on that one.
Yeah, I said definitely he's 25 for 14 across the game, but 19 for 6 on scout alone. So that's this is the Eemes scout everyone knows and loves. So definitely having some huge individual impact there. As I said, we saw some really nice stuff from the combo of Swift in the later part of it, but it just seemed early, like definitely on some of these mids, Condog was just getting absolutely pounded. He would just go almost immediately down, and then once again, similar to the mids we saw on Cardinal, all Seeds really had to do was play behind his scouts and just, you know, play as slow as he needs to try and deal with some of these bombing soldiers. And
yeah, I would mention Seeds actually. I mean, 4 deaths is really good. Obviously, he has a pretty easy time of it compared to most medics. He's got, you know, some of the scouts that like the beam, and everyone plays around him pretty well almost all the time. Like being pocketed by Thalash must be pretty nice, but you know, he's not just like a dead weight in the team. You know, he's getting the nice milks. He hits really crazy arrows a lot of the time. You saw one of them on a D-ski at one point, I think, and like, you know, he's in there quietly doing the job, and yeah, he definitely does well.
Yeah, like I said, we saw a beautiful little moment where both of Swift soldiers jumped super deep onto Seeds, and he somehow manages to get out after taking I believe a grand total of about 50 damage. Really, that's absolutely crazy stuff there, considering this is only the second season he's played in Prem at all. So shout out to you boys, Seeds already. That I believe we're going to be getting some interviews more or less any second as soon as we drag them in, so we can have a little chat, see what people were thinking. Just as soon as we unmute them. So we are here joined by the Eemes, we have Seeds, and we have Smizzy. How's it going?
Hey.
Good
evening.
Hey.
Hi. So we'll talk about, I guess, Viaduct first, since that's going to be fresh in everyone's heads. I mean, first thing which we kind of going into this, we were expecting creative perma sniping. You know, we got the bit of insider info, check the logs, this, that, and everything else. But definitely, Smizzy seemed like you were winning almost all the engagements. Maybe I said not really the 1v1s, but getting some really crucial picks there. Was that kind of have you guys really practiced a lot with you playing sniper, or was it more a kind of response to Brady perma sniping?
I think this is actually the first time we played with me on sniper. Like usually Chris was sniping in our scrims. We tried that and I don't know. I just went sniper in the first round, hit 2 headshots in a row and was like, yeah, I think I'm feeling it and let's
Makes sense, yeah. You know, if you're feeling it, you know, that's all that really matters on sniper. From the side of Se7en, I said you've been playing generally with Brady perma sniping from what I've seen, and Eemes moving from soldier onto scout. As much as you guys obviously did get the first 2 rounds, it seemed a bit closer than we were expecting. Like the creative perma sniping wasn't really working. Do you think that was maybe just, you know, on the day not hitting shots, or was there something a little bit off with what was going on?
We played a scrim before this where Credo absolutely pounded. I think they were just pretty good at pressuring him.
I think Credo was fine. I don't think that was on him at all. I think Semzi was just having a pretty good game, and we were having some trouble with that, on top of just making some pretty basic mistakes, like in fights and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, we saw some great stuff from both teams. We saw some good little mistakes from both teams. I'd be interested to see, mainly Swizzy, from your point of view. It seemed like there's some serious miscommunication between your combo and Smear. It seemed to be probably about 5 or 6 times across the 2 maps. Smear would just be so far forward, so far away from Condog and the rest of his team, and he'd just get completely picked off. Is this?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that's because we're just a puck team after all. Like,
Well,
I still don't understand how people see like this well-organized, highly strategized team in us. I don't know. Like if you watch any of our scrims or whatever, like it's literally just hugging, like DMing, getting everybody heals and just trying to win a fight somewhere. I mean, obviously you can't do that against Se7en because they just play the game a lot and they just know what they do, you know? Like it's no surprise that people just get caught off guard on the flank, or Smear gets like or overextends and his combo's not with him. Like I don't know.
just a symptom of, I guess, how the team plays. Fair enough. It happens, especially with a team like Se7en, where part of the strategy is based around this kind of, you know, coordinated peeking and prodding and getting those kind of little picks here and there. Eames, what questions have you got? Said maybe let's take a look at some of the stuff which happened on Cardinal. Obviously, completely new map for the season. What yeah, what do you think about that?
I guess one thing I would say briefly was, since I know that you know, sometimes you get a bit nervous in the officials, and you were, particularly when you first played Prem, you were like, holy shit, I'm in Prem, what do I fucking do? Like, you know, you're freaking out a bit. Do you feel, but I definitely noticed some very, very good milks from you that game. Would you say that you've gotten over your nervousness in officials and you're secure now? You know what you're doing?
It's more that I'm more nervous to pop and have a bad Uber. Like, I really wanted to pop to that spy on Cardinal, and I had a lot of bad pops on Viaduct. I wasn't really thinking during that because I get really nervous playing against snipers on Viaduct.
Right. So it wasn't so much that you had a calm confidence. You were nervous of the other thing happening.
In your head, you were just screaming, but from our point of view, you just looked like you had balls of steel. 9 HP, don't even care.
I was going, can't pop here, can't. Oh, look, I dropped.
Yeah, I think that was quite an unfortunate one. I don't know.
Yes, we hit a nutty pipe.
It happens.
It happens.
Okay, so this is to any of the players. How do you feel about Cardinal?
Yeah, map's gone.
It blows.
Like it's not gonna be played next season. Like it's no point discussing anything about the map. It's not gonna be in the next season unless admins really want to kill this finally.
It's got potential, just like Sunshine and Reckoner did. Reckoner kind of got ruined with the last update. I like the Reckoner before the last update, and Sunshine is a very good map in my opinion. But it's just not ready for a season. Like the walls and the stickies, just a lot of the stuff about it makes no sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
You can't hide behind a single wall on that map, by the way, so anyone playing that official still, don't even bother hiding behind a wall, because you can see shadows through every wall on that map. I'm
Yeah,
not even
that's-
joking.
Yeah,
Every
that's
ball.
something we didn't even mention in the pregame, but I was meaning to bring up, like, the amount of times just through like the little bit of play I've had like here and there where you'll just see a shadow straight through a doorway and immediately just like get a pick. It just seems, yeah, that's definitely something to look at, because
that's one
kind
of the
crazy.
obvious faults, I guess. Then another one would be the spawn thingy, because blue team is like the less favorable spawn. I mean, I don't even know how a map maker like makes that happen, but yeah, it is in the game, so that should be looked into, I guess.
All right.
It just feels weird because like she's made maps before this and they both turned out pretty good, and then she does this. It feels like the feedback wasn't necessarily listened to from the last two.
Okay, we
honestly,
say.
Yeah,
Well,
go on.
I mean, obviously, the map shouldn't have been like in its current state. Probably shouldn't have been this season because there's a lot of unfinished stuff, like random. You know, you can hide stickies in rocks, etc., etc. But if it were, you know, a bit more polished, like one of the proper maps, like Badlands, you know, Sunshine, etc. Do you think the core concept of the map is decent, regardless of how polished it is right now?
Yeah.
I think the design is nice. Like, I like the art style, but the map overall is just not there. I mean,
I
at least in
think
my
it could
opinion, I don't know. There's
Like-
just a lot of unnecessary rooms. I mean, obviously,
Yeah,
like if
doors.
she gets rid of like 5 rooms and fixes like $100 on the map, then it will become a playable map. But you can literally make a new map at this point. Then, I mean, like, no disrespect to the girl you said that made the map, or the woman. It's just not playable for 6s, at least not now.
I remember your post, Samsy, on the forum. This is a great Highlander map.
It is, like, honestly, like, imagine this on Highlander. Like, imagine this 9v9. That would be the shit.
Cool. Ams, any thoughts?
Thoughts on
Cardinal?
Cardinal? Oh, I don't care.
Alright.
I really don't mind that map, but everyone seems to hate it. So if I can
Yeah.
remove it, then I don't mind.
So I wouldn't imagine we're going to be seeing a great deal of Cardinal picked when it gets to playoffs. Well,
I
unless
guess-
people are just hoping to be the one team that knows how to win it, I guess.
Yeah, there definitely are some teams out there that they will just pick Cardinal, just like fainted in the cup, by the way. Big shout outs to them.
I
Yeah,
guess.
Saint are very confident against you on that map.
Yeah, they lost both times we played them on it. I don't
No,
know
but it
why.
was a really close game.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, whatever. Like, next season, Sunshine, please. Or like a map that's at least somewhat finished.
Bring
Okay.
back Sunshine.
So, continuing with the maps theme, would you therefore say that, well, would you have expected the result to be slightly different? Not necessarily that you'd won, but you obviously have gotten more rounds if you'd been on different maps tonight, Samsy?
Probably not, no. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Process is kind of a strong map for us, so that could have been maybe like a 5-2 or something. But I don't think we would have won any map tonight.
Okay. Fair enough.
I said, either way, from the looks of what we've seen, we're predicting Swift to regardless be making playoffs. So ultimately, you guys are going to get another shot at facing Se7en later on and facing
Oh,
some of
fuck
these other
yeah.
teams. So, you know, is this where we see the 4 weeks of grinding? Everyone just hits all their shots. You know, who needs strategy when you guys just hit everything?
Yeah, that's definitely gonna happen.
Yeah.
I feel like we're gonna boot camp for players like 3 weeks in advance. Play 7 nights a week.
You guys are going to have
Yes.
fun later, right? So it's going to be better.
I mean, we're probably still not gonna play a lot more, or like.
Maybe
But
you
yeah,
should.
we will see.
Smith said you'd start scrimming us after week 5, right? Like you're still on
We're gonna scrim you like 5 times next week. Monday to Monday and like Monday to Thursday and Sunday.
Thank you so much. I can tell you're not being sarcastic.
All right, guys, let's keep
Right,
it cool
yeah.
here.
I think we're more or less getting to that point of night where I think we've more or less talked things to death quite as much as we need to. So I think we will wrap it up for tonight's game. Anyone who's still paying attention and watching, we have got, I believe, 3 TFTV games starting 21 tomorrow. So feel free to check any of those out on TFTV 1, 2, and 3 respectively. I've been eepily. This has been Eames, always joined by Gemm. We'll do our quick little shout outs and then we'll be all done for the night. So Ams, who do you want to shout out? Show some love to some people.
Shout out to my team. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are. Seeds.
Shouts to Heli River, Joe, and Quarky, and my team.
Smizzy, anyone you want to show some love to?
Yeah, shout out to Se7en. I hope they stay focused till then. If American team comes, that we can like finally have a good final, I guess. Shout out to my team. Thanks for the cast for making this happen.
Ooh, good stuff. And then, yeah, and then Eames, any last little bits from you?
I guess, yeah, shout out to my team. Shout out to Gemm for producing. Shout out to the teams for pretty good game, I guess. Not bad.
I'm going to give the final bit of love to Eames for casting alongside me, Gemm for being here, the players for playing. It was an interesting game, even if it was just a little bit one-sided. Shout out to Ross and shout out to Panda, and shout out to everyone who watched. So we'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow for some more of E2L Season 30 Premiership.